upon a time, there was a kind little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She always wore a bright red cloak with a bright red hood. "I love it so much, I never take it off," said Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood lived with her mother on the edge of some deep, dark woods. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother gave her a pot of vegetable soup. "Take this to your grandmother," she said. "She's not feeling well, but remember the rules of the woods. Keep to the path and don't talk to wolves," her mother added. "I will," promised Little Red Riding Hood, and she set off. At first, the sun shone and the birds sang. All of a sudden, there is a wolf hiding behind the tree, said, "Aha, there goes my lunch," and he followed Little Red Riding Hood through the wood. Little Red Riding Hood hummed a little tune, bent down to tie a shoelace, skipped along the path, and stopped to smell the flowers. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," called a woodcutter. "Good morning," said Little Red Riding Hood, waving to him. The wolf that had followed her for a while had an idea. "I know, I will run ahead and wait for her." Little Red Riding Hood walked deeper and deeper into the woods. It grew darker and darker. Then the sun hid behind the clouds, and it get darker still. So Little Red Riding Hood didn't see the wolf waiting for her on the path, and the wolf didn't see Little Red Riding Hood either. "Come on, my lunch, where are you?" Wolf said. Little Red Riding Hood stopped on the wolf's tail. "Oops!" Then on his paw, "Oh, my paw!" and dropped her basket smack on his head. "Oh, my head!" "Look, where are you going?" said the wolf huffily. "But you are in the middle of the path," said Little Red Riding Hood. She had forgotten the rule. Don't talk to wolves. "What have you got in that basket?" asked the wolf hungrily. "Vegetable soup," replied Little Red Riding Hood. "I'm taking it to my grandmother." "Vegetable?" cried the wolf. "How rewarding! Wolf only eat juicy red meat. I never touch vegetables," he added. "Now time for my lunch," the wolf thought. The wolf was about to gobble up Little Red Riding Hood, but then he had an idea. "Perhaps I can eat Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother," he thought. He put on his soft voice. "Where does your grandmother sleep?" he asked. "In the cottage on the other side of the woods," said Little Red Riding Hood. "How perfect," thought the wolf, rubbing his tummy. "How delicious! Why don't you take her some flowers?" he suggested. "That's a lovely idea," said Little Red Riding Hood. "What a kind wolf you are!" So Little Red Riding Hood left the path to look for flowers, and the wolf led off to the grandmother's house. He knocked lightly on the door. Tap, tap, tap. "I'm so wonderfully wicked and clever," thought the wolf. "Who's there?" asked the grandmother. "Your granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood," squeaked the wolf. "I've brought you some lovely vegetable soup. Let yourself in," said the grandmother. "I'm too weak to get up." The wolf leaped into the room. He gobbled up Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother. Bony, but not bad," thought the wolf. Then he climbed into the bed to wait for Little Red Riding Hood. Soon he heard a knock at the door. "Who's there?" he said. "It's your granddaughter, Little Red Riding Hood." "Let yourself in," called a wolf. "I'm too weak to get up." He pulled on the grandmother's cap and hid under the blankets. "Your soup," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Lovely," snarled the wolf. "I mean lovely," he added in a squeak. "Put that basket on the stool and come and sit next to me." Little Red Riding Hood looked at her grandmother. She looked again. grandmother, she said, what big ears you have! Are they better to hear you with? Said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood came closer to the bed. Oh, grandmother, she said, what big eyes you have! Are they better to see you with? Said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood came closer still. Oh, grandmother, she said, what big hairy hands you have! Are they better to hug you with? Said the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood was now standing right next to the bed. But grandmother, she cried, what big sharp teeth you have! Are they better to eat you with? Snapped the wolf. He jumped out of the bed and gobbled up Little Red Riding Hood. Delicious, thought the wolf. Food at last, he said, licking his lips. Then he lay down on the bed to sleep. As the wolf slept, he snored very loudly. He snored so loudly, the wolf cutter heard him. I've never heard the old woman snore that loudly, he thought. I will just make sure she was okay. But the wolf cutter couldn't see the grandmother anywhere, only a very fat wolf. Oh no, thought the wolf cutter. The wolf's eaten the old woman. Just then, the wolf cutter had an idea. Perhaps the old woman is still inside you. I may be able to save her. He picked up some scissors, then he snipped on the wolf's tummy. Snip, snip, he saw a bright-red hood. Snip, snip, Little Red Riding Hood's head popped out. Keep cutting, she cried. Grandmother is still in there. Snippity snip, father. The wolf cutter kept cutting until grandmother popped out too. Did I fall asleep? Said grandmother. Quick as a flash, Little Red Riding Hood ran outside and picked up lots of stones. The wolf cutter put them in the wolf's tummy, and the grandmother sewed the tummy up. Then the wolf woke up, tried to sneak out of the door, but the stones rattled inside him. Huh! Now everyone can hear you coming, said the wolf cutter laughing. But I will never catch anyone, cried the wolf. Exactly, said the wolf cutter. You just have to eat vegetables instead, said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf never ate another person. I don't like little girls, said the wolf. As for Little Red Riding Hood, she's never ever talked to a wolf again. The end.